Hi, miss me? I sure miss me. You might be wondering what's been happening and why did I do that hiatus and what's going to happen to the future of this channel. Well, like all things, like most of the things that I do, let me start with the end. And this is going to shock you. I have decided that the Shiru Cobra character, the character that you are seeing right now, is going to be retired. What does that mean? Well, it means that for the purposes of me making new content, if I do, appearing online, if I do, and continuing my online presence, I will not longer associate with this character, with this model. It doesn't mean that this character will become free to use to anybody else. No way, no how. But it does mean that for all intents and purposes, I am no longer going to be a VTuber unless the special occasion says so. What will happen to this model if I'm not going to I give it away to anybody? It might become a mascot of the channel, appearing on special occasions or in the background here and there. I will not use it as my mouthpiece. I will not use it as speaking for myself. I've seen some YouTubers using their erstwhile models as a second character with a funny voice. That's not happening here. Now you might be wondering why. Why am I doing these changes? Well, if you noticed, 2025 was a rough year for me. I could not keep a consistent schedule for the life of me. I was going through some things in my head. You could say I started 2025 as a man filled with doubt. A man that didn't know what course his life was going to go. A man with a bit of fear in his mind. And he reflected on my ability to stay in character, stay in on when it came to streaming. Sometimes my streams didn't last an hour. Sometimes I really didn't want to do anything. And even though I scheduled a stream, I just didn't do anything. I had a lot to go through. And somewhere along in May of last year, a big revelation came to my mind. A revelation came to me that changed the course of my life entirely, changed the perspective of everything entirely. It's not a bad thing, it's actually a pretty good thing. But it actually made it worse to have this character represent me. Not because I don't like this character or the model, or I don't like how it looks. I've always been grateful for this character, for the modeler, for the people responsible for doing my art. I've always been grateful for them. Their names have always been in the credits at the beginning of the streams. Almost always. I think I may have missed one or two, but almost always. Whenever I bother to run the credits, because sometimes I'm a forgetful little so and so. But going back into this, as the year passed by, being seen as this, as what you're seeing right now, just didn't seem right. One little thing you have to understand is that Shiru Cobra, when I envisioned Shiru Cobra, it was going to be just a character. Just a character. It was going to be not me. Nothing about Shiru Cobra was going to be me. And I just couldn't pull that off. So Shiru Cobra morphed into a heightened version of myself. Like what you saw in the last few years when I streamed was me. just a heightened, always switch on version of me. But I couldn't do it anymore. I couldn't pretend to be something I'm not. And thus, it is with a heavy heart that Shiru Cobra, the model, the name, the character, graces your screams for the final time today. And that is where I come in. Hi. I guess I don't have a name yet. At least not a solidly created name yet. But you can call me Soul. So, as I was saying in the video that you just saw, the video part that you just saw, around May 2025, I came to a very mind-blowing realization that basically shattered what I thought about myself and about my life. What I thought I was not quite right. And since then, I've been doing everything I can to be a truer, better version of myself. And I guess you can see it there now because, it's like right there. I wasn't really trying to hide it or anything. Hi, I'm Soul. I'm trans. Oh, that's a load of my back. That is such a load of my back. Just letting you all know, you don't know how long I wanted to say those words to you guys. Because now I can't stop pretending. I can stop pretending on social media that I'm just this boy or something, because I'm not a boy. I never was. I just was told because I have certain bits that you are a man and you're supposed to act like a man. Well, tough. I'm sure you guys have a lot of questions. I know I had a lot of questions myself when I realized I was trans, and I'll do my best to answer some questions, some FAQ questions you guys might have. And if you have any questions that I don't cover here, by all means, put them down in the comments. I will try to answer as many questions as possible in good faith. Any questions that are trolling questions, bigoted questions, hateful comments, all that they're gonna get promptly deleted, and you're gonna get banned off the channel if it's at all possible in my power. Just letting you guys know. So the first question would be, are you gonna continue doing content creation, streaming, all that stuff? The answer is most likely yes. Now that I feel like I don't have to hide behind a mask anymore, I would like to return to, to do the streaming. However, another question I have is am I actually certainly not gonna do VTubing? Well, I will tell you right now, when I recorded that initial part, I recorded that around the beginning of January. So yeah, the decision of me just not doing shit anymore was basically a done deal by the beginning of this year. But I do plan to continue VTubing, on the side. I do plan on just showing my face more for multiple reasons. But it has come to my attention that I could do something like this. This is a model I'm workshopping. You're seeing just a little preview of it. There was this VTuber rigger and modeler called Twin Tails. She made what is called a customizable model. So I got that and I'm workshopping it. I'm working through it, trying to come up with like the things that I like the best. Once I'm done building this and creating this exactly how I want it, you will see this model a bit more often. Just, it won't be as full-time as Cheeto was. Just letting you know. Another question you guys might have is, so does that mean that you're going to start doing more trans content? To that, the answer is most likely not. I am not averse to creating videos about, you know, my journey and how it feels like, you know, to see things under a new light. But that's not going to be the bulk of my content. I feel like my niche, the things I like to talk about the most, are random stuff that I've grown up with, stuff that I'm currently watching or playing or, you know, experiencing. I want to talk about that. I want to bring that more to the forefront. And yeah, I may throw in a video about my trans journey or what I think about what it's like being trans in a world where, quite frankly, hates us. But that's far and away not going to be my focus. At least not yet. And speaking of, you know, a world that doesn't quite like people like me, is a question you might have, like, wouldn't I be afraid of like showing my face or like telling people who I am, considering the current state of the world, especially considering that I live in the wonderful, beautiful, fantastic United States of America? Somebody. The answer to that is, I mean, I'm scared shitless. And I mean that seriously. Like, I went to the bathroom and I couldn't shit. I am scared, literally shitless. But I think that is even a more important reason as to why it's important that I am visible. Because I think, even though it is a scary moment for all of us queer folk and trans people in specifically, it is extremely important to be visible, to be out and about, to be loud, and to show the bigots and the fascists that we will not disappear. We are not going away, no matter how hard you try. And also, I'm doing this pretty much like a personal reason, because I couldn't stand just pretending. I couldn't stand pretending anymore. I had to come out for my own sanity. Because if I stood for a couple more months just saying, I'm just a boy, I'm just allying, you know, and all that stuff, I was going to explode. Yeah, I don't know how some people just hold it in for years. My hat's off to them. And to be quite honest, on some aspect, I'm going to have to still pretend. Just not on social media, not anymore. Another question would be, am I afraid of losing followers? And have you seen my follower count? In no social media that I have, I break 1,000 followers. Look at my sub count on YouTube or my follower count on Twitch. It's kind of going down. I know that if I lose followers because of this, then, you know, what have you. There's the door. GTFO. But I know I'm not going to lose a whole lot of people because I don't have a whole lot of people to lose to begin with. And I guess one more question. Just a little something. What about the stuff that I left unfinished? in terms of like games. So I know I had at least 2 games, maybe 3 games I left unfinished that I haven't continued. The answer to that is, give me a moment. I am coming back to streams. Streams are gonna be like once a week. I'm still like workshopping the exact time and date because I really want to come back. I really enjoyed the act of streaming. It's just the act of like putting on a mask and pretending I'm a snake boy, emphasis on boy. I was just not doing it for me anymore. So give me a moment to get the ball rolling because I want to do streams that are not just gaming. I want to do streams that are about anything and everything. You know, talking about this book that I read or this movie that I read. Like just the other day I watched Iron Lung and I thought it was a good movie. I want to talk about stuff like that. I'll set it in here. I just realized there's one thing I forgot to mention here and there. Just one small thing. I'm just gonna like wedge it near the end or something like that. So you might notice that throughout this month, I will be changing my name on all social media. Do not be alarmed. It's something I've been wanting to do forever. And I think I'm small enough that I can get away with it anyway. So yeah, do not be alarmed if you see me change the channel name from Shiru Cobra to Soul. Again, I'm workshopping the name. So yeah, don't be alarmed. I'm sure you guys have other questions. Any questions that I might not have thought about? Any good faith questions, please leave them below. And hopefully, I'll be able to answer them. As for the next time that we'll see each other, probably in a stream in the coming week or 2. As it is, does this mean the hiatus is over? The answer is yesn't. I do not plan on streaming as much as I did on my heyday. I'm not gonna stream 4 or 5 days a week, but I'm gonna be streaming at least once a week. That is the plan. That is the plan right now, streaming once a week. Probably it's gonna be on Saturdays. And that's that. Thank you for watching. Thank you for giving me some time to explain myself, some time to explore myself. I want to thank you for being here during the Shiru days, and thank you for 5 years and many years more to come. This is not the end. This is a new beginning. And just to keep one thing that I always kept, I hope you, yes you, have a wonderful, fantastic day.